In early 2026, something quietly unusual began to surface across social media platforms. It was not a scandal, not a controversy, and not a dramatic headline splashed across tabloids. Instead, it was a simple, unsettling question, whispered among fans and observers alike. Why are people slowly walking away from one of the most recognizable figures in Chinese entertainment? For years, Wang Yibo has been synonymous with relevance, influence, and an almost unshakable presence. Every appearance once sparked headlines, every move generated discussion. Yet now, in an age defined by constant updates and relentless visibility, his silence has become the loudest sound in the room. Accounts are unfollowed, discussions grow tense, and supporters find themselves caught between loyalty and uncertainty. This is not the story of a star fading away. It is the story of what happens when success meets stillness, when expectation collides with personal choice, and when a global audience is forced to confront an uncomfortable truth about modern fandom. Stay with us, because what unfolds next is not about loss, but about redefinition. For nearly 2 years, Wang Yibo has taken a path rarely chosen by artists at his level. In an industry driven by momentum, he stepped back from film and television projects, leaving a noticeable gap where new roles were once expected. For many fans, this absence felt confusing rather than alarming. After all, influence does not disappear overnight. His name continues to command attention, his image remains valuable, and his reputation has not been damaged by controversy. Yet, fandom today is not sustained by legacy alone. It thrives on presence, connection, and shared emotional rhythm. When that rhythm slows, even the most dedicated supporters begin to feel adrift. One of the most discussed moments that amplified this unease was his expected appearance at a major year-end broadcast. Anticipation had been building, not just because of the event itself, but because it symbolized continuity. His eventual withdrawal, announced at the final moment, was met with disappointment rather than anger. Viewers did not feel betrayed, they felt distant. For many, it was another reminder that the connection they once felt so vividly had become harder to reach. Public discussion soon shifted from where he was to why he had chosen this route. Some observers pointed to his growing passion for extreme sports and high-risk challenges. Rock faces, snow-covered peaks, and physically demanding pursuits began to replace studio sets and red carpets. In interviews, he has spoken about enjoying thoughtful adventure and personal challenge, suggesting that fulfillment, not exposure, has become a priority. From one perspective, this choice appears admirable. It reflects self-awareness, courage, and a refusal to be defined by a single identity. From another, it highlights the widening gap between an artist's inner world and a fandom built on visibility. There was also the lingering impact of award season debates. A particular nomination controversy sparked heated discussions, not because of rivalry, but because it touched on fairness and recognition. Supporters felt protective, questioning industry decisions and unspoken hierarchies. Yet, throughout the noise, Wang Yibo remained composed, offering words that emphasized teamwork and respect. His restraint earned quiet admiration, but it also reinforced a pattern. He does not engage in public defense or emotional reassurance. For fans seeking affirmation, silence can feel heavier than disappointment. Another commonly raised explanation is the question of scripts. It is widely understood that opportunities have not disappeared. Instead, the perception is that he has chosen to wait. waiting for roles that align with long-term growth, waiting for stories that resonate beyond immediate success, and waiting for moments that feel meaningful rather than obligatory. This approach suggests strategic patience, a quality often praised in hindsight but questioned in real time. The cost of waiting, however, is immediacy, and immediacy is the currency of fandom. Behind the scenes, his relationship with management has also drawn attention. Unlike many artists whose schedules are tightly controlled, he appears to have been granted an unusual degree of autonomy. Statements from those close to him have consistently emphasized health, safety, and emotional well-being. In an industry where extended breaks are rare, this level of support is notable. It challenges the assumption that constant productivity is the only measure of success. Yet for fans, understanding does not always soften absence. What makes this moment particularly compelling is the comparison it invites. Peers who rose to prominence around the same time continue to release projects, appear frequently, and maintain high visibility. These parallel paths naturally invite contrast, even when comparisons are unintended. For some fans, this reinforces anxiety. For others, it sparks reflection. Is success defined by output alone, or by the freedom to choose when to speak and when to step back? Emotionally, the audience response is layered. There is surprise at the sudden quiet, frustration at the lack of clarity, and empathy for an individual navigating immense pressure. Many viewers do not feel anger, they feel conflicted. They admire his courage to live deliberately, yet mourn the connection they once felt. This mixture of respect and longing creates a unique tension, one that keeps conversations alive even in silence. Importantly, this is not a story of decline. Metrics still reflect strong influence, and public interest has not evaporated. What has changed is the nature of engagement. Passive admiration replaces active participation. Support becomes quieter, more contemplative. In some cases, people step away, not out of rejection, but out of emotional fatigue. Following someone who offers little in return can feel one-sided, even when intentions are pure. Perhaps the most significant takeaway from this narrative is what it reveals about modern audiences. Today's viewers are not merely consumers of entertainment. They are participants in an emotional exchange. They invest time, attention, and feeling. When that exchange pauses, questions naturally arise. This does not diminish the artist's right to personal choice, nor does it invalidate the audience's sense of loss. Both truths coexist. As this chapter continues to unfold, the future remains open rather than uncertain. A return to acting could reignite enthusiasm overnight. Continued exploration beyond the spotlight could redefine success on different terms. Either path carries meaning. What matters is not the pace, but the intention behind it. If stories like this interest you, stories that look beyond headlines and explore the human side of fame, consider subscribing to StarWatch now. Your support allows us to bring thoughtful, balanced narratives that respect both artists and audiences. Thank you for spending this time with us. Stay curious, stay open-minded, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next story.